Welcome. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to use Metabase's CSV upload and custom action features to build a simple CRUD app. This is super helpful when you are working with data that isn't automatically collected, like say a restaurant tracking daily foot traffic in an Excel sheet. With just these two features, we can create a form that the operations team fills out each night, logging foot traffic directly into the database. That means no more messy spreadsheets, and we can use that data in reports and analysis later on. If you want to follow along, make sure you have Metabase up and running and connected to a database. At the moment, only Postgres, MySQL, Redshift, and ClickHouse support CSV uploads and allow you to write data back to the database with custom actions. So let's take a look at our data. Before uploading, we want to make sure that the date format matches one of the accepted formats in Metabase's documentation. It's also a good practice to make sure that your column headers are in lowercase. Once we're ready, we can download the CSV and then head over to Metabase. We can either drag and drop the file or click the upload button here. So select the file and wait a few moments, and there it is. We've got data. So let's check it out really quick. You'll see that Metabase automatically adds a row identifier column to your model, but you can hide that if you want. Let's check everything out, and everything looks good. Once we have our CSVs loaded, we can come over here and check everything out, and we want to look at the databases now. So we can do that by going to the database section here. Mine is called Demo. We'll look at our foot traffic table. Everything's there. We can also go over to the terminal window and use the show tables command. And there it is, upload foot traffic. We can even go further and use a select statement to make sure that the rows from the CSV are there. It's kind of a long table name, so we'll go ahead and copy and paste, add our semicolon. Everything checks out. There's our two rows. Now we're going to go back over to Metabase and edit the metadata so we can control the formatting and the way that column names and values are displayed. Over here in the right hand corner, we click the three dots. Our metadata is 33% done. Okay, we have our row ID, which is what Metabase created for us. That's the entity key. For our date, we'll change the column type to creation date. There's other date types we can choose. It really doesn't matter. We can adjust the formatting. I like the one that I have it on now. We can also abbreviate if we want to save some space. Store name, that's a categorical variable. We'll type in and it will complete for us. We've got category. We can change the alignment, wrap text if it's a really long text like in a review. Walk-ins, that's number of guests, so that's a quantity. We want these to be whole numbers, so we don't want any decimal places. We'll change that to 0. Reservations, that's also quantity, numeric data. We don't want any decimal places. Put 0 there. Okay, everything looks good. Let's save the changes. And perfect. Once the metadata looks good, we can start building out questions and dashboards. I like to pin my models to the top just for easy access, but that's optional. So we can either go to the editor button here to create a question, or we can click new and then question. Okay, let's preview our data just to make sure everything is okay. We have walk-ins and reservations, but we also want to know the total amount of guests, so we're going to create that column. So we'll type in walk-ins plus reservations and give it the name total. And that's our metric for total guests. Let's preview the data. Everything is there. We could add more columns if we wanted to, like percentage of walk-ins or percentage of reservations. We won't do that now. Let's go ahead and save it. To keep things simple, we'll just call it foot traffic, just like our model. Click Save. And go back over to the Uploads folder now. We can pin these to the top. I like to leave my questions down below. Again, it's up to you and how you like to organize your Metabase. Let's create a dashboard. Again, just going to call it foot traffic. Keep things easy and simple here. All right, now we can add our chart. You'll see the model or the question that we just created. We're going to add the question and make it the length of the dashboard. For some interactivity, we are going to add a few filters. So we click Edit. We've got these different options up here. We'll see some more later. Right here is the filtering option. We're going to choose a date picker and connect it to the date column. Okay, yeah, so it's a date picker is the parameter type. We have date ranges, single dates. We're going to use all the options. We're going to click Save. Then we come up here. We'll try specific dates, maybe look at the 11th to the 17th. There's no data for those dates, so nothing shows up. And let's add a store name filter as well. Store name is a categorical variable, so we'll connect it to the store name column, change our label to store name. Yeah, it's a category. We can make it a drop-down list, a search box, some different types. I like the drop-down list personally. You can choose the one you're most comfortable with. Okay, click Done there and Save. So we can choose all or just one or a few of them. Let's choose East Point, and there we go. Now, the real magic, actions. Let's go ahead and take that dashboard and drag it up to the top for easy access. Click Edit Dashboard and then Add Action button. We're going to call it Add Record. Before we pick an action, let's drag it up to the top, make it maybe a third or even half of the length of the dashboard. And then go to Pick Action, click our model, create New Action. We'll call it Add Record here. And then we're going to use MySQL syntax to insert into the name of our table the columns that we want to insert data into: date, store name, walk-ins, and reservations. Then the values with our placeholder text, we have date. We want to put these in braces. Okay, comma, store name, walk-ins, don't forget the braces, and reservations. Add our semicolon over on the right. We'll pick the input data types, date. For store name, we're going to put in some placeholder text. If you want, select a store, give them some drop-down options so people don't have to remember how to spell the name of each store. Briarcliff, East Point. Save. Walk-ins, that's a number. I'm going to make the default value 0. For reservations, also going to make the default value 0, make it a number. Okay, everything looks okay. Let's save that. Just call it Add Record. We'll let the users choose the inputs. Let's save and test it out. Click the Add Record button. We'll choose May 30th, a few days in the future. Select the Briarcliff store, maybe 100 walk-ins, 100 reservations, add record, and we get the green success message at the bottom, and the row has been added. Let's go ahead and do the delete action now. So we'll call it delete record. Let's change the color to red. Go ahead and extend it to the end of the dashboard. Pick an action, same like we did before. Create new action, name it delete record. Then use our MySQL syntax, delete from table name. Luckily it auto-completes where, and these are the conditions we want to put. So make sure you put conditions that will uniquely identify the row you want to delete. If you were to just do the date column, then it would delete all records with that date, which may not be what you want. Right, let's choose our data types here, put in some placeholder text, give them the drop-down options with our store names: Briarcliff, East Point. Save, and okay, save, delete record, create, ask the user for the input, click Done, save the dashboard, and let's test it. Click delete record. Let's do the one we just created, so let's delete it. 30th, Briarcliff, then it's going to delete the whole record. We got the success message, and we're done. So let's go ahead and add one more action, the update action. We'll follow the same steps. Let's call it Update Record, and let's choose the color green. Let's keep our dashboard nice and clean and symmetrical, so we'll reduce these to 8 blocks and then put the Update Record button right there in the middle. Okay, so pick an action, click our model, create new action. Okay, name it. Let's do title case like everything else, Update Record. Okay, so we're going to type in update, the name of our table, set. So these are the columns that we want to update. So we want to update walk-ins in this case, put in our placeholder text in braces, and we want to update reservations. So reservations equals reservations. Now the where clause is how we identify which row we want to update, so make sure you put in enough values here to be able to uniquely identify which row you want to update. So where date equals date, where store name equals store name. Okay, oops, that's walk-ins first, so it needs to be a number. We can make this optional if we don't want to have to input any data in case it's not being updated. Okay, let's drag date to the top, make it the date type. Store name, let's drag it up there as well. Let's go ahead and put in our drop-down options, Briarcliff and East Point. Okay, looks okay. Let's save it. Okay, update record, let the user input the data. Save the dashboard, let's test update record. We'll do March 31st. So, let's see, March 31st, Briarcliff. Let's update from 25 walk-ins to 26, and reservations to 11. And there we go. Up until this point, we've been operating completely inside of Metabase. We may not want to or may not be able to give operations Metabase access, so what we'll do next is we will share a link with them to a form that will allow them to input the data at the end of the business day or maybe the next morning. So we'll go over to our model and we'll click the More Info button here, the Actions tab, go down to the action that we want to share a link for, and click Edit. Go to the gear icon. We'll make the link public by toggling on. Okay, we can add a custom success message. I'll put in record added. Copy the link first and click update. Let's open a new browser tab, paste that link, and simulate the operations team adding data at the end of the day. Okay, let's say it's May 22nd, Briarcliff, maybe 100 walk-ins, 100 reservations. Click Add Record, record added, but let's go ahead and check the dashboard just to make sure it went in, and it did. So now the operations team can add records straight from that form and go into our database instead of having to deal with Excel sheets. To wrap up, we went from having our data stored in Excel sheets to having a nice clean dashboard and even a form that we can share with the operations team so that they can add data to the database themselves. Now we have our data in the right place, it's clean, it's accessible, and it's ready for reporting. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something.